Hi everyone, I'm Louise Vigneault,
Hi, and I'm Leanne Henwood-Adam, and we are
the Ageless Alchemist Podcast.
Hi, Louise.
Hi Leanne.
It's so nice to see you again.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? Did you do anything exciting?
Oh yeah, this weekend was very exciting because it was Canada Day, and we went to the Brampton fireworks, but we went for the whole day, and it was awesome. It was great to have that feel of seeing people and be amongst a lot of people, and there was a lot of people because a lot of fireworks were canceled, but we still had them in Brampton. So it was wonderful. It was magical.
It's so nice to be out and about with lots of people again, and that feeling of life getting back to normal again. So great. That's so great.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was good too. Spent with family. You know, it was around the house doing catch-up stuff, typical stuff, but did get to spend a day with my brother and sister-in-law, my niece and nephew, out near Fergus. And so outdoors. It rained a little bit, but it didn't rain that much, so it was a great day being outside, and got to make a little trip to my favorite little store that's out near Elora that sells some of the most amazing local produce and local meats and things like that. So it was really, really great. And you know, hey, that's a great thing to talk about this time. Why don't we talk about nutrition? Because I love local produce at farmers markets and that kind of thing for the ability to get stuff that's grown close to home, and it's so fresh this time of year. There's so many great things. I actually made a trip out to a local farm as well. Things are a little bit slow this year. They're not filled up with as many things as they would be this time of the year, but there's still really great things out there. Mm-hmm. And I was able to get some freshly cut green onions and radishes and some of their lettuces and things like that. And it just always tastes better when it's so fresh.
Yeah, it is. It is. And actually we're lucky where we live here in Ontario because we have a lot of fresh produce.
Yes.
Yeah. So not coming from anywhere being sprayed for bugs or whatever. So we're very, very lucky here. So what do you think about nutrition in general?
Wow. That's a bit of a loaded question.
I know, it's general. So
yeah. So nutrition. What does nutrition mean to me? Nutrition is feeding your body in the best way that you can. When you think about why we need food for energy. Calories in the food give us energy that help us to do everything that we do. But what a lot of people don't think about is about the kind of food that we eat and how it helps our body to grow and to repair. A lot of people don't think about the antioxidants and the phytonutrients that we get from the fresh produce and fruits and whatnot that help our body to actually repair and help our body's immune system. So when I personally look at eating now, I'm trying to eat the best I can within the budget that I have. And I love the whole thing that we've been teaching for so long, which is about eating more real food more often and trying to limit the highly processed stuff. That's not to say you can't enjoy food. You can still go out and enjoy food. I love dark chocolate. What's your favorite thing? If you had a go-to thing, what would it be?
Chocolate too.
Chocolate?
Yeah.
So that's my go-to thing. And if I put on weight, it's always because I've had too much of that chocolate, right? But I love a good dark chocolate. So I'm going to allow myself to have that. But I'm trying to eat as best way I can most of the time, you know, and trying to eat more food that doesn't have an ingredient list. So think about your lean proteins and your veggies and your fruit and that kind of thing. And I'm thinking about nourishing my body and helping me to live the best life I can. I think about, you know, when I was younger and I thought about aging, and aging always was associated with someone being sick. There was always something, and a lot of people tend to think getting older means I'm going to get these things. I'm going to have high blood pressure or high cholesterol or, you know, something. and that's just goes along with getting older. And
it's not true.
As I've started learning, and as you have learned in all the education that we've done and all the certifications that we've done, that's definitely not true. There's always a little bit of a genetic, I think, predisposition to potentially get things, but it doesn't mean that you're going to. So just because my grandmother had a heart issue doesn't mean that I'm going to have a heart issue. We have the ability to make choices in our life, and trying to eat the best way we can, combined with exercise and, all of that kind of thing as well, I think helps towards all of that kind of stuff. But I know when I've talked to clients about nutrition, and especially regarding weight loss, I've always said, think about what you can add in to your diet versus what you can take away. Because when we think about taking something away, it has such a negative connotation, right? And I think most people, when they think of a diet, they think of that. They think it's negative, and I'm going to be hungry, I'm not going to eat very much, or the food's going to taste really awful. They think about certain diet foods that they have to eat. For some reason, there's still that mentality of a diet food is like a rice cake or grapefruit or something like that. I remember this is my mom eating these things when she was trying to diet. And I try to tell people that you can still enjoy the things that you like to enjoy once in a while.
Yeah.
As soon as you tell, and this is your NLP coming in, Louyse, as soon as you tell yourself you can't have it, it's what you want.
That's exactly what happened.
Right?
Yep.
So
right.
I just, when I think of nutrition, I just think of, trying to eat the best you can within the budget that you have, most of the time.
Yeah.
But I think, we're here to live life and enjoy life, and so you need to have those treats every once in a while as well. Unless there's some sort of a major illness that doesn't allow you to eat certain things, then maybe that would be one time when you couldn't. But that's sort of what I think of with nutrition. How about you? When you think of nutrition, what do you think of?
Okay, for me, nutrition, pretty much like you're saying, eat as many fresh produce as we can, trying to have good lean meat. My husband is really keen on organic and eating the meat that comes from the farm. So a lot of the time, red meat, we don't have a lot of red meat. It's mainly chicken and fish we're having. So the red meat comes from the farm already, like most of the time we buy meat, it's always coming from the farm. So that's what he likes. When we buy the fresh produce, he's really great on organic food. And it's funny because for organic, there's one for sure I will always look for. It's my celery. Since I've started to eat celery that is organic, and actually now there's not that much difference in price from the regular to size, yes, but in price, no. I have to say celery that is organic tastes so good. It's sweet, there's no chemical taste to it. Oh my God, it's like one thing for sure, I will always go for the celery organic. Sometimes they don't have it. If they don't, then, and I need celery, then I'll buy the regular one. Make sure you wash them carefully because they're full of chemicals. They are the worst. There's a list that exists that people can look for.
Yeah,
it's the 15 clean and the 12 dirty one or whatever, I can't remember. See, 15, 12, can't remember exactly the name. And every year in May, they always come up with a list. But even though you find an old list, it seems to be always the same list that comes on. And like they're saying, if you eat bananas, you eat pineapple, well, you're not gonna eat the skin, obviously. So even though they're not organic, it's not the end of the world. My husband said, oh, bananas organic is much better. So sometimes he reminds me of the Minion bananas. So for him, like, he loves the bananas organic. So if he asks me for bananas, he said, make sure they're organic. So I'll bring organic, but if he doesn't say, like, I'll buy the regular one, because it's true. We don't eat the skin. So if we don't eat the skin, it doesn't really matter. So we eat a lot of organic here in the house. I have to admit, personally, probably I would not buy as much organic, but because he wants organic, so I go with what he wants. And on the labeling, sometimes I say, look for no more than 5 ingredients, and try to make sure you understand the words in the ingredient, because if you don't understand the word that it says there, check it out. Maybe it is okay, because sometimes it's the chemical name of something. Just like I always say, like bromelain. Bromelain is an enzyme from pineapple that is in a lot of dessert that is pre-done at the store. And bromelain, you don't know what it is. Like, you say, oh, okay, I don't understand, I'm not gonna buy it. But it's okay, because that's the enzyme from pineapple, so it's not that bad. But if you're allergic to pineapple, then that can be bad.
Yeah.
So you need to check the labeling. So I always say check for no more than 5. There's some stuff that are better than others. I have to admit, I'm pretty good when I buy the pre-packaged thing. Like, I always, it's funny because I used to work always at the information fact, and I used to look at this and never look at the ingredient. And since we've been teaching the CanFit Pro HWL, or before the MWL, it's funny because I'll look at the ingredient first and then I'll look at the information fact. So you have to look at both when you buy any prepackaged foods.
For sure.
Yeah. And for me, nutrition, just like you said, it's help us to repair our body, and it's quite important. With COVID, that's one thing I did during COVID, is trying to eat as many antioxidant food I could.
Eating the rainbow.
Yeah, eating the rainbow. I love it. Yeah, you're right. Eating the rainbow, because each one means something, and we always say trying to eat them raw, but some of them sometimes you can eat them cooked, because they will gonna bring you more of that antioxidant. For an example, tomatoes. Tomatoes are full of lycopene, and we all know that lycopene helps to prevent prostate cancer on men. So when they're cooked, tomatoes, they bring more lycopene.
Mm-hmm.
So for men, they should eat tomatoes every single day. The same with carrots. Carrots has beta-carotene in it, and it's a precursor to vitamin A. So same thing, when we cook them, they have more beta-carotene. So again, same thing. So they are the two that I would say go and cook them, because they're gonna bring more antioxidant that they have. So
with all the teaching that you've done with nutrition and that I've done with nutrition, I always think about the things that I always see this regular pattern of with people. And I find that almost every client that I've dealt with, especially regarding weight loss, has always had the same things that they're missing. And they're usually missing, they're not drinking enough water, or they're not eating enough vegetables.
I agree with you 100%.
And I think that one of the things that I've discovered with myself is, what are the barriers for me drinking water? What are the barriers for me eating vegetables? And then I find what works for me, and then I try to help people find the ways that work for them. As an example, I've shared with you drinking water. For me, for some reason, I need to have, if I have one of those cups with a reusable straw in it, and that's sitting on my desk, I tend to drink more water, because it's easier for me to not even think about it. I just pick up the cup and I have a sip. Yeah. Versus a bottle of some sort that I have to unscrew the top and then drink. You wouldn't think that it would be that difference or that difficult, but it is. For me, I drink more water the other way with the straw for some reason. But I find too with vegetables, I've discovered, if I actually take the time and I prep stuff when I do shopping, and it's in the fridge so that it's grab and go, even if it's like my lettuce and I'm washing the lettuce and putting it into a container with a paper towel so that it stays nice and fresh and crisp, it's ready to go. Even making a salad is just so much easier because I just go in, I grab this, I grab this, I grab this, there's my salad, boom, it's done. So much easier. What have you found that has helped you with eating better throughout your life?
The water certainly has helped me a lot. Veggies as well. But because we talk about ageless, one of the things I found since I became menopausal, it's adding more protein in my diet. So protein has made a huge difference. Because I remember I used to wake up like maybe 6-7 times a night, like with huge night sweat, had to change the bed, the nightgown and everything. It was really ridiculous. And I have to admit, when I started to add more protein, like I'm having protein like with every meal, whatever it is, legumes, it can be fish, can be chicken, it can be nuts, anything that has protein in it. And it took me about 2 months, and my night sweat did cut at least 75%.
Wow.
So that was huge because I couldn't sleep. My sleep pattern was really, really bad. It made a huge difference in my sleep pattern and even in my regular hot flashes. And it's funny because my mom, until the day she died, she was 92, she was still taking hormone replacement because the moment she was taking them out, like she had night sweat as if it was like ridiculous. So she took hormone replacement until the day she died.
But you found adding the protein helped you so you didn't have to, personally didn't have to look at the hormone replacement or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I always try to go and look for a natural way to do something.
Me too.
Than going to pills.
Yeah.
Same thing with cholesterol. Cholesterol, because we have to think about cholesterol helps to balance hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And a woman, when she becomes menopausal, it's probably going to happen, the cholesterol will start to come up. The doctor normally doesn't really do too much, but they will check cholesterol as years go by. And what's going to happen is it can become at some point where they're going to say, well, you need to take a pill because cholesterol is too high. So that's what happened to me. Both my parents had it. So genetically,
you were predisposed to
exactly.
it.
So what I did, I said, okay, it took about 10 years before, like the doctor said, I don't have a choice, I have to prescribe Crestor to you. And I thought, okay, and he knows me, he knows I don't like
You don't like pills.
So he said, just by your face, I know you're not gonna take it. I said, well, probably not. He said, but I don't have a choice, as your doctor, I have to prescribe that. So I said, okay. So regarding cholesterol balance hormones, and one of the things is that most menopausal women will have cholesterol coming up as they become menopausal. And one thing that I realize is that if I can change something that will allow me to go without the cholesterol, the high cholesterol, without taking pills, I'll do it. And there's a say that I heard, it's food is your medicine. If food is my medicine, okay, what am I doing that, or I'm not doing, that influenced this? So started to log in everything and realized that I didn't have much about omega-3. My omega-3 was not really really, really great. So I thought, okay, so maybe I can change my omega-3. So in the morning, in my smoothies, I will add flaxseed. If I don't have a smoothie, I'll have an egg. If I don't have this, then probably at night I will have fish. So I make sure that I'm having some omega-3 during my day. So that's one thing. And the other thing is regarding cardio. I love pumping iron. I love to do flexibility. Cardio, I don't like it. So I had to find ways to get some cardio in. So I discovered HIIT training, which I love HIIT training. 15-20 minutes, you're sweating like crazy and you're fine. So I do that about 3 times a week, and plus the other stuff that I do and my omega-3. Well, 3 months down the road, I went to give blood, and I didn't know, that was in the US, so I went to give blood and I didn't know they were checking for cholesterol. So a month later, received an email saying you can check your blood type and so on. And so I went online, checked. My cholesterol was back to normal. It's been over 7-8 years now, and it's still normal.
That's amazing.
So food is your medicine. Try this first and see what's gonna happen. If it doesn't work, then you can go with medicine. So
You were talking about the phytonutrients, phytochemicals, you know, antioxidants, that kind of thing. And there's a big thing right now where I know my brother's listening to this gentleman who's in the US, who's with Harvard University, and there's a big anti-aging thing that he's doing research on. And a lot of it is about antioxidants and those kinds of things. But it's individual antioxidants. And while I'm sure, you know, there's a lot to what he's doing, and with this research, I think for the average person, for us just living our normal lives, instead of popping pills and spending money on that, we should be trying to get it as best we can from our food. You know, food is created whole. You think about an apple. An apple has vitamin C in it. So they discovered, hey, vitamin C is really good for us for immunity and, you know, all kinds of things. Let's take the vitamin C out of that and then pop it in a pill. Well, why would that be better than eating the whole apple? The whole apple has got everything else in it. There's other things that work synergistically with it. It's including the fiber. There's both soluble and insoluble fiber in there. And that's so good for us. Why would we just take a vitamin C pill if we could eat a whole fruit?
I agree.
Right? And so I always go there first. I'm not saying don't take vitamins, don't take other medications or, you know, things. I'm thinking we need to look at nutrition first. Let's make our nutrition better before we look at adding in the other things. I think there's always going to be things where taking a vitamin pill of some sort, a supplement of some form is needed. You know, I've been anemic in my life and I've needed iron. That wasn't going to get better quickly just through diet alone. So I needed to take supplements to up my iron. So there are definitely times when something acute has happened that you need to fix, where those are great. But I think for the average person, if we can just look at nutrition first and look at whole foods first, step in the right direction.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I think as we age, you know, we need to look at that even more. A lot of times people will have trouble absorbing some of the nutrients. Our intestines change as we get older, and so we have a lot more trouble trying to absorb all those nutrients. And so then that might be also where some supplementation might be warranted, definitely, if your intestines are not working as good as they used to and you're not getting the nutrients that you need to. But I think we definitely need to be looking at nutrition always first and foremost.
Yeah, completely agree. So, and just remember, everyone, food is your medicine.
Definitely is.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.